The grand ballroom was a dizzying spectacle of silk and champagne, a sea of faces shimmering under the chandeliers. But a strange dissonance began to creep into the symphony of the evening. The music, a lively waltz, swelled in volume, yet when I scanned the ornate balcony, the musicians' gallery was empty. The sound seemed to pour from the very walls of the house. A phantom orchestra playing a tune I was starting to dread. I turned to a gentleman nearby, a man with a booming laugh I'd heard moments before. He was telling the same joke, his companions erupting in the exact same peal of laughter, again and again. It was a perfect chilling loop. Across the polished floor, I saw a couple gliding through their dance, their footsteps tracing an invisible, repeating pattern, their conversation a murmured echo of itself. It was as if time had snagged on a single perfect moment and was now replaying it with terrifying precision. A sense of unease, cold and sharp, pricked at my skin. I needed to see myself, to ground myself in reality. I approached one of the colossal gilded mirrors that lined the walls. My reflection moved with me, a faithful twin in the glass. I took a quick step to the side, then back. This time, my reflection hesitated. It lagged a fraction of a second behind my own movement, its eyes wide with a confusion that mirrored my own. I did it again, a jerky, panicked movement. This time, it didn't follow at all. My reflection simply stood there, staring out at me from the mirror, a separate entity trapped in the glass, its expression slowly twisting from confusion into a silent, abject horror. My heart hammered against my ribs. I backed away, stumbling into a woman standing alone, her face illuminated by the single candle she held. Her eyes were ancient, filled with a sorrow that seemed older than the house itself. The flame of her candle sputtered, casting dancing, distorted shadows on her face. "You feel it too," she whispered, her voice a dry rustle of leaves. "You think midnight is the end of the party." She leaned closer, her breath smelling of dust and graves. "Midnight is not the beginning of a new day here. It is the warning." Before I could ask what she meant, a collective gasp rippled through the ballroom. The music, which had been so vibrant, began to sour, notes bending and decaying into a discordant groan. The dancers, once so graceful, started to falter. They stumbled, their movements becoming clumsy, then spastic. A man raised his glass for a toast, but the rich, red wine within it swirled and darkened, thickening into a viscous, crimson liquid that looked unnervingly like blood. He stared at it, his jovial smile freezing, hardening into a rictus of pure terror. All around the room, the beautiful illusion shattered. Joyful smiles contorted into masks of agony. Laughter dissolved into choked screams that were swallowed by the decaying music. One by one, the guests were being claimed by a memory. A woman in a blue gown clutched at her throat, her eyes bulging as if strangled by an unseen rope. A decorated general collapsed, his hand pressed to his chest, a phantom wound blooming on his pristine uniform. The house was no longer just a host, it was a curator of last moments. Softly, gently, with a chilling nostalgia, it was reminding each of its eternal guests exactly how they had died. And I, the only living soul among them, was the sole audience for this gruesome, repeating encore. The woman with the candle was gone. I was alone with the dead, and the clock had just begun to strike 12.